Yeah, so we're going to do Tony's presentation, 1, 2 and 3. Just listen to it, give him a bit of respect, and yeah, we'll give him some feedback afterwards, so I'll take it away.
Right boys, this is my step 1, 2 and 3 presentation. Step 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and our lives had become unmanageable. The disease of addiction to me is, I don't think I was born an addict, but I quickly became an addict, once I put a certain drug or solvent in me, I were off. I were off and up and running, and that's where the problems occurred. That's where my problems started. Denial is me denying, saying I'm always stopping, comparing my addiction to other people's addiction. I'm not injecting. I'm only smoking. I'm not injecting. My appearance, didn't think I looked a mess. But family members, say you look terrible and things like that, and I didn't think I looked a mess. Rock bottom, being alone in a flat of my own, using drugs, just totally, in a dark place. Having to give up work. I had a flat where I had no gas and electric. I was just a total mess. Powerlessness, once I started, I just can't stop, using the drugs. Like same again, just this illness, what I suffer with was just, I just couldn't stop, always saying I was going to stop, like I say, and unmanageability, needing drugs to function, to go to work, my health suffered, I was unmanageable around my health, brushing my teeth, etc. Work, I was going to work, using at work, falling asleep, driving heavy machinery. Money, I couldn't manage money for the money I could get paid on a Friday and be skipping on the Saturday borrowing money out off my my next week's wages and stuff. And obviously, ultimately, in the end, it came to being, I had to leave my job. Reservations around, this is, maybe a terminal illness, maybe, if I was, diagnosed with cancer or something like that, or, I just don't know how I'd react to something like that. I've seen a lot of cancer in my family. Surrendering to the program, surrendering to the illness, just to surrendering to, the God of my understanding, that is God, a higher power. The spiritual principles around this is honesty, this is me being honest in my step work. Open-mindedness is, just being open-minded to the program, to listen to people, the willingness to do, to come back to treatment and, totally just be willing to do anything to get well. And humility is just, asking for help and, that's just my, my perspective on humility, just asking for help, which I never really did out there. So that's my step 1. Step 2 is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So, that restoring to sanity, this is, me trying to get back, my sane thinking, So the hope is just my hope today is to stay clean and get a relationship back with my daughter. I've messed up majorly with my daughter, from day one really, with alcohol and drugs. Insanity for me again there is leaving rehab, going to work high, just all the stuff that comes with the illness. Coming to believe, that this is like a new way of life, seeing others doing well, and coming to believe the program, seeing just my peers doing well, Power greater than ourselves is the NA program for me, the 12-step program. My peers, you know, God, a group of druggies, you know, it's your peers, your mark, you know, the power greater. Restoration to sanity is sharing with others, you know, not acting on my thoughts. Yeah, you know, just, yeah, restoration to sanity, that's it, yeah. Spiritual principle is open-mindedness, that's open-minded to the program again. You know, willingness is just willing to, you know, hand it all, hand it to this program, and faith in the program. Just, you know, trust around the 12-step program. Humility again, asking for help if I'm struggling, or, you know, and just being honest in my step work around the house, around you lads. So yeah, that's my step 2. Step 3. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood it. Self-will for me is my will is, and you know, very dangerous way to be. You know, being at work again in dangerous situations, using drugs. God's will is a good way, the right way. Making the decision to me was to come back to Alicia House, to get clean, to work this program, and just try and get my life back up and running, like it used to be when I was a younger man. The God of our understanding, God is my, you know, I do believe in God. I also have a higher power in my life. Yeah, you know, just being spiritual, you know, my faith and stuff like that. I'm not very faith, you know, I'm not a big faith, but we try to expand on it, and you know, try and pray and stuff like that. Turning it over, you know, just turning my problems over to the God. My higher power, asking for help and pray, you know, just everything, you know, that I never normally used to do, and it seems to be doing a lot for me. So the spiritual principles is surrender, again, surrendering to this program, surrendering to my illness, the willingness to just do it, you know, everything what's asked, willingness around the house, you know. I have hope, which is, you know, which leads to faith and trust. You know, just like again, hope to rebuild my life, and then just have faith and trust in the program, and like honesty, just being honest in every situation where, you know, and back in step 1, the problem, you know, I was just not honest with myself, not honest with anybody else, and open-mindedness. Just like I said on the last time, just being open-minded to the program, and yeah, that's me.